I'm the brown booktuber and I've never used a green screen, so if it's green behind me it means it didn't work out and I'm poorly lit. If it did work out, I'm probably still poorly lit. Let's get into it. So we're going to be talking about 5 books I think you should give as gifts this Christmas. You know, it's that last week before Christmas, you might be rushing around for a present, and what's a perfect present? A book. Every year I want a book for Christmas. So I'm going to give you 5 books you should get for Christmas as recommended by me. The first book is my favourite book, not the favourite book I said in this is my favourite book video I made, but my favourite book that I've decided is my favourite book now is If Cats Disappeared from the World by Genki Kawami. This book is immaculate. It has everything. It's got humour, it's got love, it's got laughs, it's got heart-wrenching moments, it's got an ending which leaves you in tears with some joy but also just considering everything. It is incredible. I wish I could read this book for the first time again. Get this for someone who you know loves a heart-wrenching tale that will move them. And it's not even that long. It's a fairly concise book. It's not going to be a massive tome for them, but it's just so amazing. The second book I recommend is for all those Star Wars fans in your life, and it's Star Wars Visions Ronin by Emma Mako Kandon. It is so good. So if you remember the Star Wars Visions things that came out on Disney Plus, where a bunch of anime studios were animating some shorts for Star Wars, and it was the first one called The Ronin, where it's this awesome fight scene between a Ronin and a Sith that has this cool lightsaber that turns into like an umbrella. Well, this is basically, Kandon has been given that story and has been allowed to expand on it and tell a really great story with these characters that you spend 5 to 10 minutes with in general in cinema, or well, in video, but she really fleshes them out. It's a really great Star Wars story. It's a great epic. It's got the Japanese hints to it. It's got the Japanese flavour around it, the Ronin, the samurai. It's just... oh, it's beautiful. I really enjoyed this. I even listened to the audiobook of it and it's really well done. So yeah, pick this up for a Star Wars fan. Probably not for kids, probably an adult Star Wars fan, but it's so good. The third book is any of Stephen Fry's books on Greek mythology. I would probably start with the first one, Mythos. Stephen Fry does a really good job of breaking down Greek mythology in really enjoyable chunks. Obviously, it's not an academic text, but it's a really fun Stephen Fry text. You know, you do generally get books about Greek mythology, but the Stephen Fry ones I felt were really light, and well, as light as you can be when you're talking about the horrors of Greek mythology, but also, you know, refreshing from the usual stuff you get as a kid or even as a grown-up when you're reading up on this stuff. So I would recommend it. I enjoyed it. I've read all 3, so there's one on the Trojan War, there's one on heroes, and there's one on the gods, I believe, or just mythology in general. So get any of them, maybe start with Mythos. Really enjoyed them, and for any of those, you know, Greek mythology nerds in your life, it's maybe a young adult, not young adult, YA, what's below YA, like a 13-year-old would be the youngest I would buy this for. I wouldn't go any younger because I think maybe there are some themes which might be a bit for kids, and also some of the language is a little bit too, not, you know, adult as in rude, but as in grown-up language, you know. I think it would appeal from like a teenager upwards. The fourth book I would recommend is A New Formation by Callum Jacobs. I made a whole video on this, no one watched it, but it's about how black footballers changed the footballing scene, not just in the UK but across the world. There's some great interviews with famous black footballers or pieces about famous black footballers. It's really great, the influence they had both in politics and on the pitch. I highly recommend it for anyone you know who's a big football fan or and likes to read. It's not the hardest of reads. It's not, you know, obviously these are all like essays written by people, including Callum Jacobs, but they're not, you know, difficult to get your head around. I understood them with ease. So, you know, if you want to get a football fan who likes to read, or you want to get into reading, this is really great. Again, maybe more for adults because some of the themes are more, you know, sad, and you know, it's talking about real world issues, so again, more so for an adult who enjoys football. And the final book, although I could keep going and going, is Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. It was one of my favourite books of last year. I read the second book in the series this year. The third book is actually the next book I'm reading at the time of recording. It's a fantastic book. I sat and read it through, all of it, in one night. Not even one night, in one sitting. It is fantastic. Much like If All the Cats Disappeared from the World, it is spectacular. It is heart-wrenching. There are less humour, I think, but just more... Oh god, it gets in your soul, the circumstances some of the characters are in. I love the way that seeds are planted in the first chapter and they carry through all the way to the last, and there's hints to all of them throughout. It's great. You're introduced to characters a bit in the future. Chekhov's gun, essentially. Done to perfection chapter after chapter. So that's why I recommend this book. It's so good. Again, for someone who is okay with getting their heart wrenched out at some point whilst reading a book, it's beautiful. And again, it's not a super long book. I read it in one sitting. Maybe it's a 2 or 3 sittings book. I just kept reading and reading for a few hours because I was like, wow, I am being so gripped and so moved. Those are the books I recommend that you get for people this Christmas season. All the books are going to be in the description down below for you to check out and buy. I hope they will arrive by Christmas. This is going to be going out a week and a bit before Christmas Day, so I hope if you are able to order them, they come before then. Thank you for watching. Let me know down below what books you're buying for people this Christmas. What book do you want this Christmas? I'm kind of deciding what I want because I just text my family and be like, oh, you don't know what to buy me? Here's like 2 books that I would like. Pick one. That's my thing. But let me know down below what book you want to get this Christmas season, and if I don't upload a video over Christmas, I hope you have a great holiday season and enjoy yourself. And hey, as always, read some great books today. I forgot my own catchphrase in the last video of the year. I hope the green screen worked.